Chapter 6 Animal Classification. Revision. Just take a look at your surroundings. We see variety of plants and animals in our surroundings. Every living organism appears to be different from others in various aspects. We have already learnt in our previous grades that living organisms are grouped or classified on the basis of their similarities and differences. Come, let us quickly see how living organisms have been classified. Based on the structure of cells, living organisms are broadly classified into two main types, that is, prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms. All the prokaryotic organisms are included under the kingdom Monera. The eukaryotic organisms are further classified into unicellular and multicellular organisms based on the criteria of number of cells. All the eukaryotic unicellular organisms are included under the kingdom Protista. The eukaryotic multicellular organisms are then furthermore classified into two groups. One, which includes organisms with cell wall, and another which includes organisms without a cell wall. All eukaryotic multicellular organisms without a cell wall belong to kingdom Animalia. The group with cell wall is furthermore classified into two more groups based on the mode of nutrition. These two groups are autotrophs, which belong to kingdom Plantae, and heterotrophs, which belong to kingdom Fungi. Come, let us rewind a little. Last year we did a very detailed study about classification of plants. Come, let us quickly recollect the basis used to classify plants. The presence or absence of organs is the first criterion for classification of plants. The presence or absence of separate conducting tissues for conduction of water and food is the next consideration for classification. Do the plants bear seeds? If they do, then whether the seeds are enclosed in a fruit or not is also an important criterion for classification. Finally, plants are grouped depending upon the number of cotyledons in the seeds. At the higher level of plant classification, different characteristics are considered for classification. For example, depending upon the absence or presence of flowers, fruits and seeds, plants are classified as cryptogams or phanerogams. Depending upon whether the plant body is well differentiated or not, and whether special tissues are present or absent for conduction of water and other substances, cryptogams are classified into three groups: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, and Pteridophyta. Depending upon whether seeds are enclosed within a fruit or not, phanerogams are classified as gymnosperms and angiosperms. Angiosperms are further classified as monocots or dicots depending upon the number of cotyledons in the seeds. Like plants, we also observe enormous diversity in animals too. Some animals are very small, while some are too big. Some are terrestrial, while some are aquatic. Some animals crawl on land, some swim in water, whereas some fly in air. Some animals have scales on their skin, some have hair, while some have feathers. This shows that there is indeed a huge diversity among animals too. Recent studies show that the estimated number of animal species on the earth is approximately 7 million. The study of each and every species is an impossible task. However, the study of this vast variety of animals can become easy if groups and subgroups of animals are formed on the basis of their similarities and differences. In other words, if animals are arranged in a proper sequence, then their study will become easy and systematic. So this year, let us focus on how animals are classified, and let's do a detailed study about classification of animals.